Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening. This is Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents. It's the show that we talk with the latest game changers, and we talk about the latest trends in parenting, technology, education, sports, and we even do some product reviews. Happy to be here. My name is Ted Hicks. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com is our website. You can catch us on twitter.com/Real Ted Hicks or Late Night Parent. And you can catch us on Facebook.com/Late Night Parent. Happy to be here. This is the pre-Christmas show. So much going on. We're not going to do a live show on Sunday, but this is the best thing that you're going to get. So it's a little bit of Thursday, a little bit of Sunday, hybrid show. Happy to be here. A lot of things are going on. But we got some great guests tonight. This is going to be a supersized show. We're mainly going to talk technology. We're going to sandwich technology in between our good friend Maureen Blaha from the National Runaway Safeline. It's an organization with a mission to keep America's runaway, homeless, and at-risk youth off the street. But in between that, my good friend Gadar from Acronis is going to join us and talk about data safety for the parents. What should we be worried about? What should we be concerned about? I know the product is really, really nice, pretty thorough. I've used some data backup software previously in my lifetime. At the close of the show, we're going to talk with none other than Rich Valdez, and he's going to talk about technology trends for 2016. So we're going to get right into it. Gaidar, you're live. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time out to join Late Night Parents tonight. We recently had an experience with Acronis software where we were engaged in a Twitter chat with some other fellow bloggers in the New York region, and I got to tell you, it was really interesting. Product does a lot, and I had asked your team to see if you would come on because, you know, as VP and General Manager, you would know best. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about the product.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I'm a parent myself. I actually have a 2 weeks old son and 1.5-year-old daughter.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. And because of that, I have a lot of pictures, and my wife is a photographer and artist, so she takes a lot of pictures, and I really know about data protection because I have to protect all the data, all the pictures, so we cannot afford losing anything. So I can just give you a quick overview of our product, which is called Acronis True Image.
Gaidar, I want to stop you because for a parent, you mentioned something, you know, very important. It's about pictures, data, video. These are the things that parents can't do without. So it's something that we do have to safeguard as parents. And here's my full disclosure. I've been in technology for about 20 years, so I might see a few things. And with you being in the technology industry, you might know a few more things. But we want to help the parents tonight on what they should be concerned with, in forms of backing up, you know, best practices, all the above. So I'm really excited. I'm going to turn it back over to you. I just wanted to let you know that when you said you were a parent, you have two children, but you have a newborn, so you're snapping all different types of pictures all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know what? Without further ado, I'll let you go and tell us about the product and your thoughts and everything else like that.
Yeah, so we're talking to parents. So what can happen with a computer? Many things. So hardware can fail, software can fail. Little kids can do some damage to computers. My daughter loves to spill some water over my computer. Probably that's the way she's telling me that I shouldn't work that much and I shouldn't work at home, but she does that all the time. So these things happen, and we should be protected. But there are some other bad things that can happen to computers, so viruses and malware, and especially ransomware, the software that actually encrypts all of your files and then asks you to pay. And usually, even if you pay the ransom, they will never decrypt your file anyways. So this is actually a huge problem, and it's growing. So we recommend everyone to keep multiple copies of their data, especially something they want to protect. And that's why we built the Acronis TrueImage product. It's on the market for 15 years. We have more than 5 million users around the world. And the product itself is basically a backup solution for Windows and Mac computers and for Apple and Android mobile devices. We recently added also Facebook backup because people were asking us for it. And when we were designing the product, we were thinking about every user. So the way we build it is that anyone can install it, and the person shouldn't be an IT professional to do it. You just basically install it in a couple of clicks. You have everything backed up to an external drive or network drive if you have it at home, some kind of a NAS device, or to our secure cloud. So just 2 clicks and you're already protected. But if you're a geek, you can have a bunch of different settings. So we have many more advanced options for people who really want to do something with a product. But we were thinking about every typical computer user in mind when we were building it. And maybe a few advantages of our product is that when you back up your Windows and Mac computer, it backs up everything automatically. Operating system, applications, file settings, pictures. You don't have to think about what to back up. It will just create a full replica of your computer. So that's I think, one of the advantages for people who have no time to think about what to copy and where to copy. And we recommend to keep at least 2 copies of data at all times. So if you have something in your computer, an external drive, maybe some flash cards, just create a copy of it and store it on an external drive and store 1 copy in the cloud. So just in case something happens, with computers, with external drives, anything can happen. So it's better to have another copy in the cloud.
Very, very, very important. I want to take a step back. So I'm coming as the non-IT person. I'm just coming as a dad that has pictures of the children over the years, and you mentioned something very important to me where you said you can back up your Facebook account or a copy of your Facebook. So tell me, as if you were talking to a non-computer user, non-techie, why would I need to back up my Facebook? And how would I even do that? Is it easy to do? And what are some of the benefits?
Yeah. So why you may need to do that is because the world is filled with some bad people. So now we know that Facebook accounts being hacked and some data removed or accounts removed completely. So that can happen. Sometimes some technical glitches happen, so you can lose something that you posted to Facebook. Actually, that's something that happened to me personally a few years ago. Or you can accidentally delete something, or you can just delete something because you think you don't need it here, but then you realize that you don't have a copy. So there are many reasons why you may want to create a copy of your Facebook data. And to be completely honest, there is a way to do that. So you can actually, Facebook settings, you can download the full archive, but you'll have to download it every time, and it's not very convenient. So what we've done, we basically build a very simple service. If you use our product, you just log in with your Facebook account, and we'll automatically download all the data from Facebook, and we'll keep it in sync all the time. So if you remove something, you'll be able to restore a copy, and you will have a copy of all of your data. So what's important for many people, you will actually own the data that you host on Facebook. You will have your own personal copy. So even if you decide to go totally offline, just remove your social media, or someone will hack into your account and delete it, you will have a copy.
That is, I mean, I can't tell you how interesting that is, because when, in this day and age, when you're sitting there and you're uploading to your Google Drive and your Facebook and your Dropbox, and if you think about it, you really don't own that data anymore. I mean, you can claim ownership, but it's at a provider. It's at a provider's warehouse. So tell me more about the Acronis Cloud.
Yeah, we have our own data centers across the world. We have we have 18 data centers, 4 of them in the U.S., and those are secure data centers where we keep the data encrypted, so only you can have access to your data there. Actually, I wanted to comment about the people who are hosting some data on some services like Dropbox or OneDrive. We have a lot of our customers who actually create backup copies of the data that they host there, because you can sync your Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive with your computer and then just back it up and have another copy. And the reason people doing that, because if you have something in your cloud service and you delete a folder or a file, and it's gone from all of the device, because it will sync automatically. And usually those services keep a deleted copy for 30 days, and that's usually not enough. But actually, what else can happen is that you may be working in a folder that was shared with you by another user, and you sometimes cannot tell the difference. It's just a folder. You work on a project, or you share your pictures with your family, and this is a folder that someone else owns, and then that someone else just revokes the permissions, and you don't have a folder anymore. Everything's gone. So people prefer to keep a copy of everything, even if it's a cloud service. And last but not least is if you keep everything with just one provider, it's virtually the same as having just one copy of your data. And we all know that if you really want to be protected, you have to have at least 2. So it's always a good idea to have another copy stored somewhere separately, just in case, because you don't know what's going to happen, or maybe you want to have access to that particular provider at a time when you will really need the specific file. You don't have time to wait, so you can download it from another provider.
So with the with the Acronis Cloud, am I able to go to, let's just say if my PC had a hard drive failure, am I able to go to another PC and pull that specific image down? Like, how does that process work?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So we have a simple tool that creates a bootable USB drive. You basically plug it into a new computer, boot your computer using that USB drive, and then you can download the data from the cloud. And in our product, we have a unique technology that is called Universal Restore that actually allows you to restore your computer to any other type of hardware, even if it's not compatible. And I know that listeners of the podcast are not very technical, so I will not give a lot of details. But basically what we can do, we can take whatever you backed up from one computer, even if it contains the operating system, all the applications. For example, you have a Lenovo computer, and then you want to recover to Dell computer. It may be different hardware, different hard drive size, but you still be able to do that, and you'll be up and running as soon as your backup is downloaded and restored.
So as we start to move, as we've been moving over the last couple of years from, the standard desktop and standard laptop, yes, we still have those devices, but we're moving totally mobile. You mentioned at the start of the conversation that, yes, you can also back up Android and or iPhone. Is it something easy to do, or what are the steps behind that?
Yeah, so what we can do, you just basically download an application for iPhone or Android, and we're going to add Windows Phone as well. And in that application, you just select the type of data you want to back up. So photos, videos, contacts, calendars. We're backing up the data from the device, and then that data can be backed up to our cloud or to a local computer. And some people actually ask us all the time that if they have already an iPhone and they can use iCloud, what could be the benefits of using our solution? So our benefit is that you can have just one account with multiple devices backed up to that one account. So you will have access to all of your data from all of your phones, which is actually very useful in a family setting. If someone in my family actually looking for a picture or just trying to recover something because it was deleted accidentally, I can actually help using our cloud and just recover those files, and we can recover a particular picture, so you don't have to recover everything. That's one advantage. Another advantage, you can back up multiple phones, iPhones and Androids, to our cloud storage, and then you can recover information that you had on an iPhone to Android and from Android to iPhone. So some people use it for migration purposes as well when they switch devices, and people do that all the time.
Folks, just in case if you joined us, this is Late Night Parents. I'm Ted Hicks. We're talking with Gaidar, the VP of Acronis software, True Image, the data recovery, data backup software. Gaidar, next question I have for you is, and it's kind of a piece of, kind of leans into the last question. Are we at the point where if you pull up the software like in a recovery mode, if we're looking for a specific photo or something, it allows you to drill down into the various folders to find, let's say if I'm looking for the Labor Day photos, if I have it labeled that way, would I be able to find it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a search built in for cloud backups and for local backups as well. So you just click search and you type in the part of the name of the photo if you know it, and you'll be able to find it. And then in the future, what we're going to add, we'll add more sophisticated ways to search for information, because we know that people are actually uploading more and more data, different types of data. So we're constantly thinking about how can we improve the search capability. But for now, if you know the name of the file, or at least approximately know the name, you can find it.
Perfect. What are you doing, if you don't mind sharing with us, what are you doing more? I mean, yes, this is primarily for the parents, but do you have a version of the software available for, let's say, like the enterprise, for small or medium businesses, for parents that are, small business owners?
Yeah, actually, we have the full product line. So Acronis True Image product is intended for personal use, for family use, or very small businesses. So people who have very small offices, 1 to maybe up to 5 employees, they actually use Acronis True Image. For a larger organization, we have a product called Acronis Backup. And for enterprise, we have Acronis Backup Advanced. And we also have a set of solutions for service providers, like hosting providers or telecom providers, that can just use our software and provide backup services to the end users based on that software. So we actually covering full set of solutions from home user through enterprise to a service provider serving many other customers.
Very, very impressive. I guess one last question is, so and I kind of want to focus more on the cloud. Tell us about, and this is going to sound a little tacky for some of our listeners, but you have multiple data centers, you have it replicated. Like, this data is it going to one specific data center, or is it going to multiple data centers? I kind of want to know about, the infrastructure behind Acronis.
Yeah, so what we do now is basically a user can select to which data center to back up. We allow customers to select different countries. So if you in one country, you can select data center in another country. So each backup, you can decide where you want to store your data. So, for example, you can create one backup to the U.S. and one backup to Japan, just in case if you want to keep your data there. And we know a lot of our customers actually from Asia, from countries like Singapore and Japan, they have multiple copies in different data centers. So that's another unique feature that we provide. So you're in control where to store your data.
That is very, very unique, I got to tell you. Very slick, too. Very, very slick. I got to thank you so much for joining us tonight. and telling us
you.
about the benefits behind Acronis. If anyone is interested in learning about any more information on the software, or where should they go? Tell us about your Facebook, the Acronis Facebook page. Tell us about the digital imprint of the application to learn more about it.
Yeah, actually, everything that you want to learn will be at our website. It's basically acronis.com. So you just go there, and Acronis Streamage is there, all of our products there. We have a lot of information, and you can watch videos and look at some comparison tables and everything there, and you can see what we have. And actually, we have a special deal for the holidays. If you type in acronis.com/gift, you'll get to a special page that is like a secret page where we have a very special deal where you can get a product at a very large discount and also get a free copy for your friend, because it's holidays and everyone wants gifts. So why not to give away some peace of mind?
Gaidar, I want to give you a round of applause. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and look forward to speaking with you in 2017.
Happy holidays, and stay warm and safe. Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks again. And we were just talking about Acronis, the Acronis software. Pretty thorough product. Really, really, really interesting. I would say go to the website, find out more information on it, because parents, you need to know about ways to back up those important files. So for whether you're the small business owner, or you're involved in a large corporation, or you're just a parent and you just say, hey, I need to back up these important pictures of the children or specific family events over the years, it's something great to I think it's a pretty decent product to have. And if not per se that product, then a specific product like that where you need to back up your data. I want to talk really quickly about 7 hacks to help you take care of your holiday shopping to the next level. Holiday shopping should probably qualify as some kind of endurance event. After all, it requires stamina, patience, and a whole lot of preparation. The good news, with a little know-how, anyone can buy great gifts for the people in their lives and save money doing it. So you ready? You got this? Number 1, you got to make a list and check it at least twice. Before you start adding things to your cart willy-nilly, make a list of everyone you'll need to get a gift for this holiday season. Did you remember your cousin, your child's teacher, your dog walker, the neighbor who waters your plants when you're away? Putting it all in one document will help you make sure you don't forget anyone as you shop, to make a note of what you bought everyone. That way you can refer to your master list next year and avoid buying grandma yet another pair of slippers. Buy multiples. If you stumble upon a charming mug or an inexpensive candle, don't be afraid to stock up, because there will be people you forgot to shop for, or people who surprise you with a gift you weren't expecting. When that happens, all you need to do is wrap that trinket from your stockpile. No frantic late-night mall trips. I can't tell you how much I don't like going to the mall. No late-night mall trips required. E-coupons are your friend. The store emails clogging up your inbox may actually come in handy this time of the year. So keep an eye out for flash sales, special seasonal discounts. Can't find a decent promo code? A number of third-party sites will search the web for usable coupons. Some online rebate services even offer cash back if you connect to their, to your favorite stores via their sites. You got to be careful with these e-coupons. You got to make sure it's not a specific phishing site. a site that's going to kind of draw you in and ask for some personal information. A coupon site won't ask for any type of PII, personally identifiable information. Okay? That's a key one to remember. But don't be afraid to pick up the phone. Sometimes it pays to speak to a real person. Customer service reps often keep a copy of active promotions which they may be allowed to pass on to you. Take advantage of free shipping day. I think all gifts from whether it's FedEx or whether it's UPS or United States Postal Service, I think the 21st is the cutoff date that they're, I guess, sanctioning as the day that, hey, your gift will make it to your loved one's, home by December 25th. So you got to mark your calendar. I think it was a few days ago, about a week ago. December 16th was free shipping day. That year, as in years past, dozens of major retailers will eat shipping costs, allowing you to save some of your hard-earned cash. But, nowadays you also have, providers like Amazon, if you're a Prime customer, which will ship it to you in 2 days. And depending on where you are and what the item is, they can get it to you in a day, and I've even seen it in an hour, depending on where you live. So that's what's important. Thinking outside the gift box. We've always heard the term thinking outside the box. But what about thinking outside the gift box? Experiences often make the best presents. If you can't figure out what to get someone on your list, consider gifting them a meal at their favorite restaurant or a voucher for an activity they've always wanted to try. Shop throughout the year. It's probably too late for 2016, but next year, avoid the holiday scramble altogether by shopping year-round. As you think of things your loved ones might appreciate, either buy them then or add them to your master list. Headed out on an exotic vacation, shop for a one-of-a-kind gift while you're away, because even the politest of gift recipients can only stomach so many holiday sweaters. Those are just a few tips on holiday shopping. We know it's the holiday season. We want to, everyone wants to do the right thing. One thing I wanted to mention before our next guest is ways to protect your identity. And we hope you've all been doing it during this holiday season, but not just during the holiday season. You should be doing it all the time. And I was having a few issues with my headset. I'll get this in order. Ways of protecting your identity this holiday season. Before I get into it, this is Late Night Parents. This is Ted Hicks. Happy to be here for this holiday show. Ways to protect your identity during the holiday season. And you got to sit here and think about, amidst the hustle and bustle leading up to the holidays, it's easy to get caught up in that shopping frenzy. It's the feeling is all too familiar, where the main concerns become making it to the right shops in time, getting your hands on the right gifts, making it out before we spent too much money as you hop from store to store. You're probably watching your accounts to make sure your purchases are still within your budget. But there's more than, just keeping an eye on. You got to think about you protecting your identity. I just want to go through a couple of quick items. Is out in the public, you got to remember, crowded malls and sidewalks provide ample opportunities for thieves to nab your wallet and bank cards, not to mention other personal information. So while you're out, you always have to remember, you have to be aware. You got to remember about cell phone security. You have to be aware about being online. You have to be aware about being at home. You got to remember whether it's, mail, in regards with dealing with your mail, before you put your mail out, especially during the holiday season, shredding unwanted documents and bank statements, taking all checks, from basically anything that has your account information, you gotta make sure that stuff is shredded. Be aware of the phone calls and, really these type of phishing attacks you have to be aware of nowadays because, it's rough out there. So as we segue from our segment on online security, as we segue to our next guest, Maureen Blaha from the National Runaway Safeline Executive Director. Maureen is the Executive Director of the Runaway Safeline. It's an organization with a mission to keep America's runway, homeless, and at-risk youth safe off the streets. There's so much that is happening all year round. I want to bring Maureen on.
Hello.
Maureen, how you doing?
I'm
great.
How
are you?
How are you doing? I'm good. Good.
Pretty good. Hey, I know I want to thank you for working with us because we were playing phone tag and trying to get our schedules together, and I know tonight it might have been a little bit later than what you wanted to be on the air, so I want to thank you for working with us.
Oh, no, I'm thrilled, and it's my bad because I actually got very mixed up when we were originally supposed to do it a Sunday night a few weeks ago. That was my mistake. I got the wrong time. But here we are tonight, and I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Yes, and totally equally excited for you to be on the show. And I got to tell you, when you did call in, I was like, oh, man, we wanted to speak with her. And the show was coming to a close, and I was like, Is there enough time to squeeze you in, Maureen? And you know what? you have such a very important organization and a subject matter. I did not want to do a disservice to it. So once again, thank you so much. I don't even know where to start, Maureen. What you do is so important. So before I even start to ask questions, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm, as you said, the Executive Director of the National Runaway Safeline, and I have been very fortunate to be in that position for 16 years and have seen some things that change and some things that stay the same, but all of us know that families do struggle. These are tough times for families, and oftentimes young people are feeling like things aren't going quite right at home and end up running away from home, and we are there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to listen and to help. And even when kids are struggling and they're still home, but trying to navigate adolescence and things that are going on in their home life and at school as well, and we're there for parents. So we do have a broad range. Our focus is young people between the ages of 12 and 24, and for parents as well.
Perfect. I did some reading. NRS is a wonderful organization because, you do highlight the trends, the emerging trends in that for the youth that are in crisis. So I want to ask my first question. What are some of the warning signs that your child thinking about running away?
Well, a couple of things that we like to say to parents is, first of all, if there are any changes in behaviors or patterns, that often means something is wrong. So that could be, we know that teens need a lot of sleep and they sleep a lot, but if they're sleeping more than normal, or if they're not sleeping, if they're spending all their time with their friends and not really communicating, having mood swings, and that these are things that are out of the ordinary, that could be a warning sign. Rebellious behavior is also another indicator that could be the start of trouble, and that could be, grades are dropping, that they may be truant from school, and these are things that don't usually happen. That could be a warning sign. If a young person, if a child ever says, I want to get out of here, I'm thinking of running away, we say take that seriously, because it may really be a cry for help, and we would encourage parents to really take note of that. And then the last thing is they may be accumulating money or possessions, because if they're thinking of leaving home, they're thinking of running away, they may or may not imagine, well, what would I do once I left home? Well, I might need some warm clothes, I might need some money, I might need some food. And so if you notice as a parent that your child is accumulating possessions like that, that's another warning sign.
So, Maureen, you got to help me on this one, because I got a 15-year-old that sometimes, and I don't know if it's just because she's 15 now, where, she used to be up under mom and dad. Now she wants her space. Now she wants, to be in her room. And should I be concerned, or is that just, someone being a teenager?
Well, I think that's a really great question. And, we need to recognize that, part of being a teenager is wanting that independence from our families, from our parents. And that's normal behavior, and that's, normal development. And so I wouldn't worry so much about that. But if there are things that are going on that are really unusual, then I would say you need to kind of take note and sit down and have a conversation. The other thing that we've learned through the years is that, we used to think that, when you're 13 years old and your brain is the size of an adult, you're an adult. And really what we've learned over the past 20 years is that the brain development is an interesting field. And now what researchers are telling us is that teenagers, that all of us really don't fully mature, and our brains are not fully developed until we're 25 years old. So teens will do impulsive things. They'll push the envelope. But for parents, what I would argue is you always need to let them know that home is a safe place to fall. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to need you to be in their court, but you need to make sure that you communicate to them that home is a safe place to fall.
This is Ted Hicks for Late Night Parents. We're speaking with Maureen Blaha, the Executive Director of National Runaway Safeline. Maureen, what should a parent do if they suspect their child is thinking about running away? So we might have seen a warning sign or two, but what are the next steps?
So the next steps is to confront your suspicions. Sit down and have a conversation with your child, and do this in a manner where you're not reading the newspaper, you're not watching television, but it really is a message to them that you as their parent are concerned, and you want to talk about what's going on. It's a good idea, I would say, to share with your child that, hey, I remember what it was like when I was 15,
right.
And here's a few things that, seemed overwhelming to me, or a few things that got me into trouble, and really talk about it with them, because it's a way to really, as the adult, help them find positive ways of dealing with their stress because they are under stress. And let your child know you do not want them to run away. And depending on how the conversation goes, it may be that, hey, maybe this child or this family could benefit from some kind of counseling. We have in our database counseling programs all over the country, including in Long Island. You could always call and get information about that. Go to a school counselor, maybe through the church. That's not a bad thing to have some kind of professional intervention if you're feeling as the parent like you're not really getting through to your child. And just I had a parent that had said when their child ran away, and we actually were able to help reunite the child and the parent, and she said, I am going to put 1-800-RUNAWAY on all of my kids' friends' gym shoes because if they ever are away from home, I want them to know that the National Runaway Safeline is there for them and will help.
Excellent. Excellent. Maureen, so tell me, why is it important for our late-night parent listeners to get involved in the runaway crisis?
Well, the real reason is because of the magnitude of this problem. I often talk about it as a silent crisis, but this year, 1.6 to 2.8 million kids will run away from home this year. So if it isn't your daughter or your listener's daughter or son, it could be one of their friends. And it's really important to make sure you have that open communication with your child. And wouldn't it be great if your home was a safe place, that if a kid is struggling in school or struggling at home, that they would know that they could go to your house and, maybe talk about things and just have a safe adult that's there for them.
Maureen, how are parents, teachers, and all adults can get involved to help combat this crisis?
Well, one of the things I would encourage people to do is to visit our website at 1-800-RUNAWAY.org. There are tips for parents, tips for educators, questions that young people will ask, and just kind of poke around and see sort of what's going on and the kinds of questions that are posted on our forum from young people. And if you're so inclined, you could support us by doing a donation. You can do it on the website. But the other thing we have is sort of two real calls to action. One is we have street teams across the country where it's kids, maybe a Girl Scout group, maybe a Key Club, maybe it's a family that join our efforts and become a street team by helping to spread the word that 1-800-RUNAWAY is available both online and through the hotline. Sometimes it could be a church bulletin, sometimes it could be a presentation to a Kiwanis club. Whatever it is, there are opportunities, and we'll kind of help you along if people want to become street team members. And then the other is we have this magnificent runaway prevention curriculum that is free of charge for community groups and schools. And so I would say to the educators that are listening and the parents that are engaged in their kids' schools to talk about, is there a way to bring that curriculum into the school? And there's really no cost for the school to do that.
So we're talking with Maureen Blaha from the National Runaway Safeline. Here's the meat and potatoes of it. What are the latest findings from the National Runaway Safeline Trend Report for this year?
One of the things that I want to say, and at the beginning, Ted, we talked a little bit about how I have seen things change and some not change in the 16 years I've been there. The number one reason that young people reach out to us is because of family dynamics. There is some conflict that is going on in the home that is making that young child, that teenager, the young person, feel that maybe they want to get away from that. The second reason that young people are reaching out to us is because of abuse in the home. That could be physical, sexual, emotional, or verbal. And then the third is peer and social issues. We all have heard a lot about bullying, and it still is going on, and sometimes kids just don't know how to deal with it and don't really know how to talk about it. And so they call us, it feels safe, it's confidential, they're often more willing to open up. The other thing that we've noticed in the 2015 statistics is that we are actually hearing more from young people. And I think that, there was a huge spike in 13-year-olds that were reaching out to us. And we think that some of that is because of the digital manner in which young people can reach out to us by doing live chats, sending us a bulletin board posting email to us. And we think that because the younger they are, even the more comfortable they are, let's say, with that digital reaching out that way. And then the last thing I would say is that the reality for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender youth is that we are hearing more and more from them around the issues that they are dealing with around coming out to either their families or their peers in school. And in fact, what we do know is that young people who identify that way are really overrepresented on kids in the total number of kids that run from home, with about 40% of homeless youth identifying that way.
Maureen, that was, so much information. I'm going to have to go through the recording here because I tell you, this interview has been great. So, yes, we know in the month of November, I think originally you and I wanted to get together at the tail end of November.
Right.
But it's the tail end of December, and it's okay. But, National Runaway Prevention Month, which was in November, why isn't this an initiative that's every month?
Well, that's a really good point. It's really what we do in November is put a lot of energy into, sort of this public education campaign to raise awareness about this crisis, this silent crisis that we have in our country, and to engage communities in doing sort of proactive things like having a candlelight vigil to talk about the issue, reaching out to young people. We do a lot on social media that way. But you are absolutely right, Ted. Really, every month should be devoted to supporting families, supporting young people, and preventing young people from running away and becoming homeless on the streets.
Maureen, what are your best practices for our listeners to get in there and participate with the National Runaway Safeline organization?
Well, what I would say is, go on our website, hook up to become a street team member, and that would be really joining our efforts and educating so that any young person who is feeling like they have some crisis they're trying to deal with and they need help, they know that we are a safe place to call, to reach out to, and that we will be there no matter what. I would say that this is a really interesting time of year because it's very hard for all of us to imagine a young person not being with their family over the holidays.
It's true.
And so
it's true.
It's a time that really touches all of us. And so whatever people can do to support families, to reach out to a young person that is struggling, and to remember to really become friends with the National Runaway Safeline, follow us on Facebook, and really educate yourself that this is an issue. It could touch your life, if not directly through your family, through friends, and you want to know that resources are available.
Definitely. Now, after every interview, I usually ask our featured guests best ways to get in contact with them. I think I'm going to do it for you because it's such an important cause. So it's www.1-800-runaway.org.
Right.
For the hotline is 1-800-RUNAWAY. LinkedIn is National Runaway Safeline. Twitter, 1-800-RUNAWAY. Facebook, 1-800-RUNAWAY. It's so key because our youth are, this is just a topic that for me it's a hot button because we talk about this as parents and we see this on TV and we've seen the bullying and more and more with the LGBT, with suicide and everything else like that. Maureen, I want to just thank you once again. Like I said, it was worth the wait. The conversation was worth the wait. I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Want to give you a quick round of applause?
Well, I loved that, Ted. And I just want people to remember that, sometimes all it takes is one caring adult to help a young person find hope and resources. They just need to know that people are there and that people care. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
No, thank you. And I definitely want to get you back on in 2017. So I'm going to say
Great.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and for, those that might not celebrate Christmas, Happy Holidays. Everyone has to be politically correct nowadays. But definitely want to get you back on our Sunday show.
Okay,
at,
great.
7 p.m. and we're going to get you on for the new year, and we want to get involved. So thanks again. Thanks so much.
Thank you. You have a great holiday, too, and to all your listeners, take care.
You too. And that was Maureen Blaha, the Executive Director of the National Runaway Safeline. It's an organization with the mission to keep America's runaway, homeless, and at-risk youth safe and off the streets. I want to thank her so much. I think that's a show. Gaidar Magdan Nurovov joined us about the Acronis software. We talked about Acronis True Image, ways to back up your computer and protect your files, and most importantly, your pictures and your videos. We talked about the local computer backup, the local desktop or laptop backup. We talked about the mobile device backup to your Android, to your iPhone, and coming soon to your Windows Phone. Don't forget it. We still have some Windows Phone users out there. So we want to thank them for joining us. As I mentioned with Maureen, we want to thank her, our two featured guests for the evening. Coming up shortly, we're going to talk totally tech with none other than Rich Valdez in the second hour of the show. But we want to definitely close out this show and close out the year and say Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, God bless to all of you that have listened to the show over the year and over the years. I want to thank you guys for the support, whether it's through text message or through Twitter or Facebook. Ways to just make the show better, your overall interaction. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank our team that's not here per se for this show, but want to thank Dr. Michelle Reed, as always joining in with health and wellness, telling us things that we need to do. Rich Valdez joins us, talking technology and fatherhood and all the above. And most importantly, our featured guests each week that join us and talk about the latest and greatest in technology, education, sports, and we kind of wrap it all into parenting. We want to thank this year all the folks that joined us to talk about, their various products. and, just some of the initiatives that they were pushing forward this year. So it was a great year. I want to thank you guys. We're going to get ready to close this one out, and we'll end with Change and Speak, and we'll see you next year.